shit.
Hello, Internet.
Alright, so let me see what channel we're on today. We are on channel 5, so it's a dctv.link/5 if you want to put that on your social medias.
What a boring intro. Hey guys.
We're not actually. The show's not started yet. We're just.
What do you mean? You said we were streaming.
Well, we are streaming, but it's not technically the start of the show, right?
I'm liking this
Because
already.
here's the. I mean, the problem is we can't put a link to the web until we know what channel we're on Diamond Club. I mean, we could just say we're on diamondclub.tv.
Welcome to diamondclub.tv.
No, that's.
Boo. Get out.
No.
Alright, well, I'm tweeting shit. If y'all guys want to go ahead and start the show, go ahead and start the show, because obviously I'm doing whatever the hell I'm doing.
I mean, I think someone must have gained access to my account because they changed my Twitter handle to Twitter.
Oh, see,
I'm
I told you we weren't ready yet.
You're the one who started streaming.
Well, you're right, because I felt like we were ready, but it appears that we weren't ready. But you are now the spokesperson for Twitter.
Alright. I'm shutting it down.
My hashtags.
So,
all my great hashtags.
Yeah, so obviously we're doing
Lost to time.
Hello to everyone, whatever show we're doing now. What the hell is this show called anyways? I don't even know anymore.
Well, that's one of the fun things, as you'll find out, is that we're 3 episodes in. Do not have a solid grasp on a name yet.
In the
first one, we flip-flopped through about 4 or 5.
So original name, Tugboat and Hassy.
And I think about half an hour of the second episode was also discussion about the name, potential names.
Right. And the second name we had was Travesty.
Okay.
Turns out that is not an option because it is in use.
Okay.
So we're back to pretty much nothing.
Well.
So before we get into that more, so we actually have another guest this week. Oh shit! What the hell? How'd that happen?
Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey.
Hello.
One of our coworkers, Alex. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
You don't have to stare directly at the camera. You don't.
I feel under pressure. All the internet is watching.
No, but then don't pay attention to that.
Okay.
Which is why you don't have access to the chat right now.
That's also true.
What am I doing here? See, now I'm already lost. So that's right. Yeah, so I was trying to fix this because obviously it started live and.
Would you like my actual Twitter handle?
You know, that would be useful probably. So let's fix that.
It's Ziggy Zoo. ZU.
Hold on, I broke it somehow.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, you know what?
It's a process.
Whatever.
Well, you know what happens when Travis makes a mistake. David starts hitting the sauce.
So ZIGGY, ZOO.
No, ZU.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Internet terminology.
Alex, you said
look,
you've got.
You stole my Twitter handle. Nailed it.
Hold on, I actually had that window open. Now it just disappeared. Okay. Totally professional, just like every other week so far. What is it, Alex?
Oh, mine is Blue Lantern.
And that's EU.
That is correct.
Like that.
That's right.
Awesome. Burp. Cool. I think we're ready now. Even though we've already ready. You know, Roz, I gave you. Shut up.
Oh yeah, that was the joke I made.
Yeah, I know. I thought you meant Alex stole your Twitter handle, which was Twitter at one point.
Well, I mean, we can share it if you want it.
We'll be the co-founders of Twitter.
Yeah. Are the public be traded? That might be good.
You know, I
don't
feel
understand.
2 years ago they were about to be, and they were valued at billions or something. When in reality they hadn't even started marketing yet or doing any advertising, and they had no actual revenue.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I always found interesting. I never knew how Twitter could possibly be profitable. I understand that companies can advertise on there and do that kind of thing, and celebrities can endorse certain tweets and do that kind of stuff.
But none of that money filtered through Twitter at that time.
Yeah.
Until they started doing these sponsored tweets.
Okay, which everyone can close out and say is not relevant.
Right.
So
nothing
I still find it
relevant
very...
to you.
Yeah. Internet.
Isn't that most ads nowadays? I mean, who actually reads ads on the internet anymore?
I have to if I'm scrolling through it and they're there, but...
Yes.
Oh, and another thing that they rolled out was the verified process, where celebrities, in order, now celebrity can use this channel to reach out to their people, and in order to get like a little badge next to their name,
check mark, because that's so important.
They got to dish out X amount of money.
That
I don't know what that is because I'm not important enough to.
I don't know how I'd feel about going through that process. Like, even if I did become famous at a certain point, I'd be like, am I famous enough to have a verified Twitter and feel famous enough to go through that process? That little blue check mark, man.
Well, I understand that's pretty much just what you just send a form, pretty much, right? I mean, just fill out a form to prove you are you or some crap like that. Is there actually monetary exchanging going on of some sort?
I'm positive there is.
Sorry.
Well, you guys.
I'm sorry, is my alcohol invading his space?
I am sorry.
So, about our guest.
Yes. Hello.
So you are also another fan of gaming culture.
I am.
Which is like one of the reasons we bonded at work.
Yeah.
So, and we brought this up on the first podcast.
Okay.
That November 7th, we're planning on joining the RT team, Rooster Teeth's team for Extra Life.
Right. Specifically the Rooster Teeth Side Quest team.
Okay.
And what is great about that is it's a team that, well, it's an organization actually, a nonprofit organization, specifically derived from, well, if you're not familiar, roosterteeth.com is a fantastic website where they make web content, including shows like Red vs. Blue and Ruby, shows like that. And they have a fantastic social media side of their website. And a fantastic community is built around that, including RT Side Quest. Now, this is a group of those community members that raise money for various charities, including Operation Supply Drop, Make-A-Wish, Child's Play, and what they've been doing for the past few years, and what I was lucky enough to find out about and become a part of this year, was they're also participating in Extra Life's 24-hour gaming marathon. So, basically what we do is it's like any other marathon. You get sponsors. These can be one-time donations, or it can be per hour, like however you want to donate. And you stream for 24 hours. You stream whatever games you like, and it's all the money goes completely to the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And you can sponsor whatever hospital you want. In my particular case, all of the money from my stream is going to go to the Cook's Children's Medical Center. And they benefit, they have a few different hospitals in North Texas, including Fort Worth and Plano. Fantastic organization, been around since 1918, providing medical care to underprivileged children. And that's basically what it is. You can support, there's so many Children's Miracle Network hospitals that can be sponsored by this. And every single drop of that money that I'm aware of goes directly to those organizations.
Right. So why in particular this hospital?
Well, just because of the history behind it and the fact that they're still growing and making a network out of this. The Cook's Children's isn't just one medical center. Mm-hmm. What they do is they have a healthcare system completely set up just for underprivileged children. They have entire healthcare plans. They have a foundation, a physicians network, pediatric surgery center, specifically in Plano. And just they have such a wide reach, and because again they've been doing this for almost 100 years at this point, and it's a fantastic organization for just most of North Texas. So it seemed like a fantastic organization to want to benefit.
Cool. So let's backtrack a bit.
Okay.
All right. When did you start? What would you say was like you? Well, I wouldn't say it got addicted, but when was the first time that you knew that, holy crap, gaming, I love it, I want to keep playing? Where did you start? First system?
Oh, well, the first system, the first system that I can remember playing, like I'm sure a lot of people did, was the original NES.
Right.
Not the Famicom, but the original NES.
That's where I learned to swear.
There we are.
Dear old dad. Could never get to the hang. He couldn't get the hang of Punch Out.
Oh well, see, it wasn't so much Punch Out for me. It was just I had that one cartridge that everyone had, which was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yes.
And I had the orange zapper, the whole thing. And I would come home to school every day, and this had to be 1994. That's
Sure.
Because my parents were smart and didn't tell me that the Super Nintendo was a thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I was all about the NES, and I would play Mario to the point where I was just too hyped up. Like I would just get into it, and that continued for a very long time. Nintendo were my guys for a very long time, and I still have a Wii U, still enjoy it. But I that was probably the first gaming addiction that I had was the NES, and then after that it was the original, that fat Game Boy, which I still love, and Pokemon Red. First game I ever bought for myself, first game I ever beat by myself, and it's all she wrote from there. I've just been playing games ever since. Tried to get into PC gaming, which is fun.
Well, yeah.
I'm not super great at it. Because I grew up on a controller.
Same. Like,
Yeah.
I could never make the switch to a mouse.
I'm first-person shooters are okay on there for me because the point and click makes sense. But as far as moving around with it, just I don't know.
WASD.
Yeah, WASD. So yeah, I am a console guy, but I'll.
You say that like it's like you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, that's because we're talking on the internet. And I don't know if you've ever heard the term PC Master Race, but it is a thing. So
yes, it's a thing.
Come at me, invisible people.
But no, that's what I'm into. I primarily play Xbox One nowadays, which I really enjoy. But I recently picked up the Nathan Drake collection on PS4, and that's what I've been playing most recently. Right. So it's been fantastic.
So 24 hours.
Yes.
Now, mind you, that's 24 hours. That's assuming 24 hours just from the start.
Yes.
You're going to have to be awake beforehand to get everything ready.
Exactly. Yes. I'm expecting to be awake from 5, and then the stream starts at 8, just to make sure that everything's working. And then, of course, we play through 8.
Wait, why would you start at 8 a.m.?
Because that's when the event officially kicks off.
Why would they start at 8 a.m.?
You would have to ask the fine people at Extra Life.
Who's gonna, like... I can't imagine the cross-section of Gamer Geek that's gonna get up at 8 a.m. for a charity stream.
Those that have jobs and multiple monitors.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've seen a few people at work who
I can think of a
spent
couple.
their time, having one thing on one screen while they're working on the other screen.
And this is a thing that a lot of people take off. Well, I mean, it's on a Saturday, but...
Very sorry. Occasionally I burst into laughter because the people in Travis's chat are goddamn hilarious all the time.
Fantastic.
I think at least one of them is a previous coworker commenting about the up-to-date technologies of IRC.
I
love this chat. Like, it's a super simple port. Like, it's lightweight, it's clean.
And that's...
Oh, you're looking really good, right?
Someone's claiming to be my mom.
I'm noticing a reference to something that happened at work previously, just this week.
Wait, what? I don't know.
I'll tell you about that later, so I don't have to make too much.
It's amazing how wide and small the internet can be.
Yeah. So see, that's the thing. So I noticed a few regular names here, obviously who've been part of this chat room.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a couple of names now that have popped up that I don't recognize. So I'm assuming those are probably work-related people.
David's mom. I don't think it's actually my mom. Last time I talked to her, she couldn't operate a computer. So that is another subject of discussion that I wanted to get to today.
Okay.
Because we're selling out.
Is it to a wine company?
Already sold my soul to that one. We are going to get management.
I'm sorry, what?
management.
I'm sorry, back that up. This is the first I'm hearing this. What?
It is. Actually, I told you about it right outside your door, and I said, I'm going to tell you on the show.
That's okay, so technically, yes, that'd probably be kind of the first I heard.
We'll get back to the charity in a little bit. But,
yeah, don't worry. This is how the show works. We jump.
I'm into it
a lot.
I got an offer this morning to help with our social media.
Okay, how drunk were they first?
This morning?
Well, I mean, it may be still up from last night.
Yesterday was Friday.
He is a respectable gentleman.
You can go.
Oh, good. My dad joined too. No, he's actually a social media expert. It's not my parents. It's assholes from work.
Yeah.
He's a social media expert, and he is going to be taking over our Facebook page. I assume I will be giving him a Twitter account to manage.
So let's
as well as he said he was actually working with some money for promotion as well.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Stop. All right.
This is all moving so fast.
Yeah, we're only in our third episode. We don't even have a name. We're assuming we have a name, but that name keeps changing every week. How the hell do you advertise something that doesn't have a name and constantly changes as much as it does? And even then, I still don't even pay attention to the fuck that Facebook page you have. So you could be posting God knows what right now.
Why haven't you liked your own Facebook page?
Because I don't even know what the name of the show is yet. I'm not going to like something that's going to change.
What?
That is the nature of the internet. Why would I like change? But actually, that brings up an interesting point too, the Facebook thing. I've not had a Facebook probably in 3 or 4 years.
You're not missing much.
I was going to ask, has it changed? Is it super fast? Super flash? Is it super fast and super fly still? Or
I don't know.
What goes on the book face?
Same old as usual, baby pictures, people's opposing opinions about certain views on religion and politics.
Yeah, like...
So just a forum.
5-6 years ago, I stopped paying attention to other people, and it just like became a scrapbook for me.
Interesting.
So like that's where I put my pictures, and then I'll comb through my own shit later on. But
I see.
I'm not like looking at other people's lives.
No, I mean most of the time I'm just looking for like maybe there's like an interesting link to something silly or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time I'm just scrolling past everything.
Okay.
How is my whole family here?
Welcome.
David's dad, David's mom, Davey's grandmom.
Oh, hi, Grandma David.
Anyway.
Wow. Sorry, chat room regulars. This is not what this is happening, and it's a thing that's happening. So
moderators.
What?
Chat moderators.
Yeah,
on multiple different things.
So so here's the thing: the chat room is actually part of a bigger network of fans. So
which you would know if you'd watched the first episode.
Which I would have watched had I known the name of it.
Shut up. We have a Facebook page. Oh, you don't have Facebook.
Get a Twitter. I'll watch it on Twitter.
Make sure that Davey eats some lunch. I don't want him to go hungry. Have you seen my belly? Like, I haven't gone hungry in years.
Sometimes maybe it's best not to pay attention to the chat room.
They're addressing me directly.
Okay. Don't feed them.
Don't engage.
This actually brings up an interesting point, though. Because this is... Oh, I'm super jazzed about the charity,
yes.
Of course. And super jazzed about streaming for it. This is actually going to be the first official stream that I've ever done. I've done test streams, those kind of things that everyone has to do.
So you figured, hey, what the hell, we'll do 24 hours.
We'll do 20... Well, I mean, dive in feet first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I brought up chat moderators and all these different kinds of things, because these are considerations that I never had to have before, and I'm still learning how to do it. And internet, you're beautiful, but you're much smarter at this than me. So trying to figure out what all is involved and how it works. And as I described to you the other day, basically my stream right now is held together with bubblegum and hope. So it's been a very, very interesting process figuring out how all this stuff works. And you guys have done streaming prior to this.
Yeah, the whole 3 weeks we've done this, yes.
So what sparked this then, I suppose?
again, you got to watch the first episode.
Right. Which has been posted nowhere.
Okay.
It's on YouTube.
Oh, that's right.
And our Facebook page.
That's right. Which you don't have access to.
I do not.
I'll make sure you get a link. Basically, I started drunk texting Travis, and I said it would be hilarious if we hung out and put it on the internet because I am and Travis is the classic comedy duo of and
Can attest. Modern day Abbott and Costello, you guys. It's great.
He's much more eloquent than me.
I would not put us anywhere near that.
Sorry, they recently came on. I think I was linked on YouTube to that, so I ended up, that was my day.
Oh.
So.
Of course.
But. So yeah, one of the people in our chat right now who is judging us and trying to give us direction notes, he is going to take an interest in this. Not only to see where this goes, because we're having fun.
So in other words, he wants to ride our coattails. Yes, exactly.
Literally.
I've never owned a coat with tails. Does that mean you made it? Like if you own one of those fancy coats with coattails?
Well, I mean, now you make me think of coats that actually have actual animal tails on them instead. Like a bunch of foxtails just hanging off from the edge. And now I'm thinking furries and I'm just grossed out. Moving on.
They seem nice.
Oh, I had a comment. I can't make it. Sorry, furries. It was funny, but just trust me that I can't say it. I had topics and I forgot them all.
Maybe you should have wrote notes down like some people.
So many notes.
I do have notes.
No, let's look at these.
Here, you can have one.
Now they're making fun of me for my notes.
Let's do a dramatic reading
And
here.
these are a list. I had a list of things relating to the charity specifically, and a list of things that I'm thinking are possibilities to play on the channel itself once the charity gets started. And the vast majority of these things. So a lot of the plan that I had for the stream.
Yeah, these aren't games. Those are
exactly
hospital things.
They could be games, but
what the charity is actually going to.
With the right nurse, it's all a game.
So essentially, what my plan is for my portion of the stream is going to be primarily games that I've never played, just to, well, one, it gives me a great excuse to sit and play 24 hours worth of games,
right.
And two, it allows people to come in and us to figure it out as we go. Like, what is this? I don't know what this is. And the good thing is, the chat, I'm sure, has played these games. So if I get lost or I get confused, I'm sure they'll be more than willing to provide feedback. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really interesting experience. Like I say, it's my first foray, but I think it's gonna be a fun experience for everybody.
I'm curious, why do you have Custard's Last Stand on the Atari 2600?
I don't. Is that an expensive game? I know that game was banned.
Yeah, there's reasons why that game.
Well, yes, that was a very dark time for games. I've actually, I'm kind of embarrassed by that because I do love games and I love the history of games. I've never actually played a 2600. I've never played a ColecoVision, any of those older consoles. Like I said, I began with the NES.
Yeah.
So
not even like through a classic collection or anything like that?
No, not really. Although I knew there was a fantastic one that came out on the original Xbox called ColecoVision Lives.
No,
or Intellivision Lives.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so something like that I think would also be a good idea for people to get involved with old games and stuff like that.
Right.
I think it's very interesting the way that the industry is going right now, because I think there's an interesting trend towards allowing the user to make their own games and their own experience based off those old games. Like Mario Maker is a prime example right now. So I don't know. I didn't know if you guys had played that or had any thoughts on it.
I haven't actually played Mario Maker yet, but I've been watching a lot of people with their different levels, and I mean, it'd take creativity for sure to actually make a level. But and also, it sounds like people are just out there to make you as frustrated and angry, just like the good old days, and toss your controller at the screen.
Yeah, like it all seems like a exercise in punishment.
It's true.
I haven't actually played it myself, so like the only thing I get is the highlights that you see on Reddit or
I only see two things come out of it. I see those frustrating levels like what Gerard the Completionist on YouTube does, and those kind of things like the Kaizo Mario style.
Yeah,
I see those a lot, and I see autocomplete levels,
right,
where you press forward and suddenly Mario goes through all of these fascinating things, which are visually very, very impressive, but I don't know if they're super engaging to play.
Yeah.
So I would be very curious to see what people could do and what people could pull off.
An actual level design of some sort. Yeah.
Exactly. Because while I've never created a game, Miyamoto seems to do a very fantastic job, particularly with level design, and I don't know what all the ins and outs of that would entail to balance that ease and that frustration, because these two things are two ends.
I think that's the whole idea of Mario Maker, is to learn level design and to get a grasp of what is just the right level of difficulty to play a game.
It's a fair point. Yeah, one of the best examples of it I think that I saw was about 3 days after the game came out, and of course Reddit, because everyone goes on Reddit. There was a picture of the same box, and all it said was, "You know what? Fine. You make it. You think it's so easy. I'm done." So, I don't know. I just found that to be an interesting sandbox to play in.
Yeah.
And there are a few games that kind of go along with that too. Like one of the games that I have on my list to jump into is Bridge Constructor, which recently came out on the Xbox One.
Okay.
Where the entire point is there's a gap.
Oh, I think I've heard of this.
Cars have to go across it.
Yeah.
Your job is to essentially make the bridge. Just it's Lego at the end of the day, but with bridges.
Yeah.
And those kind of things are becoming a lot more popular. Like your simulator games, especially. And they're simulator, not just Goat Simulator, things like that.
Yeah, I mean.
But I saw one the other day. It was like a mechanic simulator for automobiles and things like that. Which,
well, I mean, the truck simulators have been popular over in Europe for the longest time.
That's an interesting thing too. Culturally, I find that very interesting because I can't think of many, and maybe I'm just ignorant to it. I can't think of many.
I'm not talking to you guys.
I was just going to let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I find it I don't think I would enjoy playing a car driving game like that. Mm-hmm. Racing games is a different thing, I think. But playing a just go from A to B on this road, follow the laws, do all this kind of different stuff. Granted, I'm sure there's a ton of Americans that do enjoy that. I'm not super into it, but you're exactly right. It's huge in Europe, and I'm not sure why that is.
Maybe they don't get to drive as much as we do here.
America is big. It's wide.
Damn their public transportation over there.
They're fantastic public transportation.
That does sound nice to just have trains and subways everywhere.
Trolleys and such.
I mean, I took the Megabus to Houston. First time taking the Megabus ever. And we break down just outside of Megabus. It's a cheap-ass bus that takes you to locally...
then it fights Dr. Wily.
Dr. what?
It's a video game. It's
I can see Mega Man in my head. I've never played one of his video games.
Really? They recently came out with a collection on the Xbox One. Those games are very, very hard. But fun. If you know which bosses to beat in what order, which I never figured out as a child.
That's all it is. You're not supposed to know. You just go in and play, just like any other game.
Yeah.
And then you try to figure it out until they make it impossible to figure out.
I could have sworn that there was there not a Mega Man title on the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, it was a port of Mega Man Legends from the PS1.
So Mega Man Legends was on the N64?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not crazy. Okay.
So you guys are just going to gloss over all the Mountain Dew and Doritos?
What?
I was going to let it speak for itself.
Yeah, I mean, why point out what is so obvious? I'm sorry.
I can't tell if I can't tell if you are embracing it or offended by the fact that that is a stereotype associated with games.
I mean, it's it's so loud. I like subtlety to my jokes.
Did you not remember last week where I said I enjoy the visual gag here or two? Should I just let them all in the background instead?
I can throw things at you. That's also a visual gag.
That too would be a visual gag of some sort. That is correct.
Also, I'm told that you shouldn't eat
No, you're not.
While
no.
talking into a mic.
No, that's like the most.
You're the person I get mad at on podcasts.
Good.
I just want to make that known.
It's not just the fact you're eating, which already pisses people off, but you're doing it from a bag that makes as much noise as possible.
Come at me, invisible people.
Hold on, I need to make sure my address is not publicized anymore.
We're here for the Doritos.
Diamond Club's gonna get DDoSed.
No, but how did that happen? Is it just ease of? It's an easy food to eat while streaming, or like, because I feel like that is absolutely a stereotype. Is the Doritos and Mountain Dew?
I mean, for sure, what brought it to the forefront was during. I wasn't sure if it was still at Game Trailers or Spike at the time, but it's still some kind of Viacom-owned company where Doritos and Mountain Dew had sponsored, like maybe a gaming award or something. I know that's for sure where it jumped out the most because. I mean, you couldn't get away from it. There's fucking Doritos and Mountain Dew everywhere.
And I feel like those sponsorships really broke out too. Because I remember when Halo 3 was coming out, there was that special edition Halo Mountain Dew and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It just I didn't know if that was like they're sponsoring it because it's Mountain Dew or like to.
Go on.
Should I leave?
Oh, it's waving at the camera. Hi, Max.
Oh.
I'm so much more excited to see you than my mom and my dad.
Oh, internet.
So,
Yes.
the question at hand, were you a WoW person?
I was not a WoW person, actually. Simply because I primarily played consoles, especially when WoW first came out and initially got that huge push. And I remember Warcraft 3 and Warcraft being very popular when I was in school before WoW. And as soon as WoW came out, suddenly I didn't see some of my friends again.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have... little side note about me. I grew up in a tiny little hick town. So I didn't even have the internet until I was a sophomore in high school.
What year is this?
Oh, that had to be 2006.
Wait, hold on. Really?
So I would get on the internet at the library and things like that because I just didn't have it. And what I did have was crappy dial-up, so I couldn't do anything with it.
Right.
So I didn't really get on online gaming probably until 2006, 2007. And while that was super fun, it was one of those things that passed me by. And I didn't really get into an MMO until Star Wars The Old Republic came out, which I enjoyed because I really liked Knights of the Old Republic 1 is still one of my favorite games of all time. Knights of the Old Republic 2 was broken but fun because it just wasn't finished. You know, that was really my first MMO experience, and really my first experience kind of getting hardcore into a multiplayer experience was the Old Republic.
So you were spared from having your life taken over, in other words.
Well, it was delayed.
Oh, okay.
But but yeah, it happened. And I don't play it as much now because I wasn't getting anything done for months, but super into it. It was a good time. I'm guessing you guys were more into that kind of scene, or
I started and stopped pretty quick. I hit level cap on World of Warcraft and then just kind of gave up. And then my dad, I wanted to do something that I could engage with him. It was like a mutual hobby.
Yeah.
So I got him on and I said, hey, make a paladin. I'll just be your healer. We'll crash through everything. It'll be great. And we did. And I said, okay, I'm done with this now again. And he went apeshit on it. He had every single slot available for characters, level capped, and each one of them was different professions so that they could send each other mail. So
he went all in.
He could have been his own guild.
That is so rad. Because I love stuff like that. I'm always fascinated with the age gap and what people are into and different things like that. Because me and my dad play a lot, but we primarily play Halo or Destiny, things like that.
My dad never had hand-eye coordination for Halo.
I'm sorry.
I used to have a LAN party for Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely called some of my high school friends little fuckers. Get out of my house.
So we can curse on this podcast.
It was in
yeah,
jest.
it's like whatever.
Okay.
Oh, we've done much worse.
Yes.
Love you too, Dad.
I love this bonding moment.
But yeah.
Yeah. No,
I miss LAN parties.
and that was a thing that I barely remember too, just because I wasn't as into the PC gaming scene. Was LAN parties and that kind of thing. Although
the original Xbox.
The original
that was
Xbox
where I
and
started.
Halo. That's what I was going to bring up. The original Halo and God, because we would play at a tiny little local game shop there in my little tiny town, and that was the closest to an internet experience I had for multiplayer gaming at that point. Was those LAN parties, which was fun, smelly sometimes, but fun. Well, you know, unfortunately, these stereotypes are there.
Right.
Not completely without reason sometimes. So, but I think that's getting better. And I think that gaming culture as a whole is becoming more aware of that kind of thing. And it's becoming less of a, to put it as bluntly as possible, less of a basement dweller video game kind of thing.
Right.
And luckily now it's in the forefront. People are allowed to be like, oh yeah, I just play games. It's totally a casual, good time.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you can put out things that are tantamount to like what just came out, Just Cause 3 is in beta right now.
it is.
And it's like something that you could compare to the Avatar movie. it's like fucking incredible what they were doing with the graphics and the interaction with the environment in that game.
The physics engine in that game.
Here's my question though. I mean, exactly what type of specs do you need for it to look as good as they're saying it's going to be? That's always been one kind of my problems with PC gaming, is that unless you have like the highest high-end computers, a lot of the stuff that you're probably seeing in screenshots and whatnot, don't expect that.
I mean, that it's available is cool enough to me
Okay.
to like be a fan of.
And again, just because I'm a console peasant, I guess that was one of the reasons why I stayed that way, was because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, it's cheaper for me to have a console for 5, 6, 8 years, whatever the life cycle of these things are now, than to commit to consistently upgrading a PC all the time, which I know overall is less expensive due to Steam pricing of games and things like that. So there is a balance to it, but I would constantly feel like as soon as I upgraded, I would be left behind as to what the next game is going to require or what it's going to be. So I don't know. It's an interesting balance, and it's a world that I don't know as much about, but I'm trying to get better about.
Right.
So
I was kind of bummed. Like, I don't have. This is a work machine. Probably not enough room to put an actual game on. I really wanted to play that Ark game. That's the dinosaur.
it's
one,
the one that's blowing up the internet right now.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, I heard about that. Yeah.
Like, throw a rock at a dinosaur and then you ride the dinosaur. That's all every kid ever wanted.
You just have to say ride a dinosaur. That's all you need to say.
And every so often the caveman poops. That's what I've gotten out of every video that I've seen is throw a rock at dinosaur, ride dinosaur, poop. So, which don't get me wrong,
And the
sounds
poo,
like a
the
good
poo
time.
engine is great. If you poo on a hill, it rolls down the hill.
I never want to ride on a poo engine, but yeah, games like that I think are very interesting now too, because while a lot of the games that I play, beyond a lot of the games that I'm going to play on the stream for obvious reasons, but
Oh yeah, I didn't see the other one.
oh yeah, here's basically just a tentative list of
Can I
ideas.
cross things off if I hate them?
Sure. Read them out and tell me
Well,
why
I
they're
mean,
bad.
it is
But
going to be your first stream. So
it
it's
is-
probably best that someone read through the list and approve or disapprove if a game
Yeah,
is
and like I
true.
say, I wrote down a bunch, and there's a bunch that I could either add or subtract from this list.
Right.
It's better to have more things. It is kind of my thought process on it. And what's interesting about Ark, I think, because primarily I play games that are very story-driven, just because that's what I enjoy doing, is sitting and listening to a story. But games like Ark and things like that, where it's purely mechanic, survival, that kind of thing, those are becoming... Well, I feel like it's coming back around because back in the day, there were very few games that actually had a solid story to follow, because what could you do?
Yeah, like Mario, not a whole lot of character development there.
No. Italian man finds himself in kingdom, save princess, beat turtle. You know.
You could even simplify it further and go right.
Yeah, it's true. Which is beautiful. It's very true. Team Luigi. But yeah, so I find that as an interesting cycle back, I guess. Although there are fantastic games out there that are now entirely story driven, like even to the nth degree. Like we've got Fallout 4 coming out soon. Which is all story. We've got The Witcher 3, which just came out, which I am completely addicted to. I think I'm on the second area, and I've played a stupid amount of hours in that game. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you go for story when you play games? Do you go purely for gameplay, multiplayer interactivity? What gets you guys into a game?
I'm all gameplay. Like a buddy of mine is. I would call myself a poser gamer at this point. Don't even have a TV in my apartment. So, but like my buddy's into it, and he has all the consoles. He'll get the big games,
the new shinies.
Yeah. And if I'm around, yeah, I'll join him. But he hates me because it's just mash button, skip the cutscene now, play, bang, 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 bang. And I just want to go do the thing.
Which is a mindset that I'm trying to be more aware of, because I'm absolutely that guy. It's like, shh, cutscene. Like, I'm that guy. Probably because I really just enjoy movies. Yeah, I enjoy movies so much. So I go for the story most of the time. Granted, there are some fantastic games out there that have no story other than what you impart on it. And I think a good example of that would be like a Limbo or Journey, something like that, which you can tell a story without having to basically have a hardcore narrative. But
no, sorry, keep going.
No, I was just rambling. What about you, Travis? What gets you into
I think it depends on the game, though. I mean, for example, like I enjoy platformers. I mean, there's really no reason you need too much of a story in a platformer. It's all about action and whatnot. Whereas other games, such as, of course, an RPG, most of the idea is the story. That's what got me into these early RPGs back in the Super Nintendo era, was the fact that the story is what drove me.
Like Final Fantasy 3 and
right.
those kind of things.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not. I think it depends on the type of game you're playing more than anything. I mean, I don't know. That's just my thought. I'm like Dan. I just don't have time for a lot of games anymore.
I don't have time for cutscenes.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I don't even have a console.
You would hate Destiny. There's almost no story to it, but when there's a cutscene, damn it, you can't skip it.
I mean, I can understand. I mean, if there's going to be a cutscene, there needs to be a reason for the cutscene. There just doesn't need to be a cutscene to be a cutscene. Just because we think, ooh, we're cinematic now. Games are all cinematic. It's like, no, don't add in bullshit if there's no reason for that to be there. I mean, make it worthwhile.
Well, it's
so,
just
sorry. What if I were to play Halo though? It's not a story to me. It's still a platformer.
I mean,
because I just bounce around and go to the checkpoint.
Go run, shoot the bad guy.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm super into the Halo story. Like I'm that guy that's actually sat and read the books and done all that stuff. Just because I
have no idea what's going on. Like I was eaten by an anus at one point, and there was like a big flower or something. Eat me, Seymour.
Yeah. Wait, were you playing Little
They improved the graphics of that quite a bit in the Anniversary Collection. So now it doesn't look like a giant Venus flytrap. I had the same complaint. Halo 2 and me were not friends. But, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I always enjoy hearing what people are into in those particular areas.
I'm like, totally conversely, like, I'll consume, like, garbage TV, like, en masse. Like, I think I've gone through 4 seasons of Community in the last week. Or what was that game that starred Juno?
The Ellen Page game?
Yeah.
It was... No, here's the thing. There are 2. One that actually starred Ellen Page, and one that starred a character that looked exactly like Ellen Page,
right.
which was The Last of Us.
Yeah.
What was the one where she was magic?
That was not The Last of Us. That was the one that also had... Who played the Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie?
Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
Had Willem Dafoe in it.
Yeah.
That game was supposed to be a big cinematic experience, and nobody bought it.
I was gonna say, I don't even remember ever hearing. I remember hearing about it at E3. I don't remember hearing it actually ever being released though.
So I found a full playthrough on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 10-hour long video, and I watched that over a couple of days. That was fucking fantastic, and I just ate it like a movie.
But you didn't. Well, just like you said, it wasn't a game at that point.
No, it was a movie.
I mean, obviously it's a game, but it wasn't an interactive gameplay experience at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's the thing of a lot of these games nowadays is you can pretty much cut out all the action sequences pretty much and just have nothing but cutscenes.
Metal Gear Solid 4 pretty much did that.
God, nothing. Yeah, it's at that point you're just watching a movie now.
And you can strike a balance, I think. Like the Nathan Drake games, I think, or the Uncharted games, I think.
Beyond Two Souls. Thank you, chat.
There you go. That's the one. And I think, and maybe that's a difference between the different consoles doing that, because I feel like PlayStation is very much more into the cinematic experience with games than an Xbox or Nintendo doesn't even touch cutscenes very much.
No, they when they do, they license
it. Wine?
Oh no, I'm great. Thank you.
Okay. How about some lukewarm Mountain Dew?
You can add ice to it.
I'm all right. But thank you so much.
Okay.
You're a very fine host.
Not my house, but I thought
you're a very fine host.
Yes.
Which I just realized on the video is reversed when I look one way or another.
Well, don't look at the video.
I'm sorry. But
is that the case? Hold on. Look to David.
I'm looking at David right now.
Okay, cool. We're gonna fix this because
okay.
now it's gonna bother me because now that you've said that. Let's see. Is it this way? Oh, that's the wrong thing.
All right. Another question from the chat.
Yeah.
Why is only David drinking? Is this the Straight Edge and David show?
Perfect. We're done.
Hashtag nailed it.
Coming in from Australia.
Yeah. No, you gotta leave it now.
I actually do want to leave it.
Is that alcohol-free beer, David? No, it's not. Actually, this is for the final segment of our podcast called Travesty.
Why didn't I realize it's a segment now? Okay.
This is where Travis...
Speaking of...
So that sound means it's time to give this up.
Yeah, what don't you not like doing 2-hour episodes?
No, well, I mean, I enjoy the shit out of this. I don't want to edit. I don't want to go through 2 hours.
Well, see, that's
an hour and a half. The first one,
yeah.
It took me 6 hours to get it to 40 minutes.
That's the problem. See, we need to start working on it to where whatever we do, that's it. No edits, done. Push it.
Yeah.
Well, you're putting too much work into it.
I mean, I like doing the thing.
All right.
That was too much. So, travesties. Tell me about one of the worst experiences in your life.
Okay, this segment is now.
This went from super fancy high kind of gaming conversation to what happened.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be a real talk podcast.
No. See, I'm not agreeing to this segment.
I dispute this segment on moral grounds.
But I bought the tea.
Well, I mean, I can still drink the tea.
And you're Travis.
Yes, but also one says Texas teas. Just
isn't that oil?
Oh my god.
That's not a great endorsement of that product.
That was funny.
You know, this is not a sponsored.
No, we're actually sponsored by Manning and Things. Oh, and his website, which I'm going to link to in the chat, because he is going out of his way for us, and we will do the same for him.
Right on.
www.geekfitnation.com. If you are kind of nerdy and, in shape, very unlike myself, that might be the place for you to go. So, you're not going to tell us about any personal heartaches?
I didn't realize that we were going this direction.
What?
Of course,
We
then again, I
go
never realized
every
anything.
direction.
I just realized I never know what direction we're going with this damn thing.
You can fill in if you want.
Oh, I don't know what tragic things have happened to Travis. I was waiting on the story. I mean, things break at work, but I wouldn't put that into the weepy category.
No, that's not a weepy. This. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not.
I mean, is there anything bad going on in the news?
Oh, I'm sorry. We can talk about general news now as well.
I don't know. I don't care. It just has to be a travesty.
We're having such a good time.
I'll make it as
We're
dull.
still having a good time.
Okay.
Like,
I'm gonna make it as dull and boring as possible. I went to the store last week to buy some cable runs.
I can already tell this is going to be a travesty.
Yes.
It's the segments that
Excellent. That's what I'm going for.
I bought some cable runs to protect the cables that are on the floor so we don't accidentally step on them. But unfortunately, the cables were too big. I had to return it.
See, this is why people tune into the show. This is why we're
All right.
I'm glad I could kill that in an instant.
That definitely happened.
I know that David wanted to end the podcast.
Yeah. And we are.
So,
because I hate you and we're leaving.
Alex, website again.
Yes, this is extralife.org, and this is my my participation page, essentially.
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Blue Ranger, you're Billy.
Yep, Billy Cranston. But yeah, and there's a ton of people participating in this. This is my personal page right here. It's extra-life.org/participant/Blue Lantern, spelled the French way, I can't spell now, BLEU Lantern.
Wow.
And what you're going to see on any of these, and whenever are you guys going to be setting up pages as well?
Can I just join yours?
Sure. And so basically, it's just a brief description of what is going to go on, a brief description of what Extra Life is, and the organization involved, which again is the Cook Children's Medical Center. And like I say, I'm part of a bigger team, RT Side Quest, and
But we're going to be doing our own stream.
yes, Saturday, November the 7th, 8 a.m. Central Time.
But yeah, so seriously though, going to actually stop the show, we're going to keep hanging out and streaming as an after show because like I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
But officially, we're done with the actual show.
Thanks for hanging out.
And the alarm that I had set off, that is going to be our theme music. So I'm going to play that for a little while. We're going to stop, and then you can hang out with us later at irc.diamondclub.com. Or .tv, sorry.